Good morning. How is everyone? So maybe I'll wait a little longer, see if people come in. I was doing some research yesterday, and I want to know how many of you could pass the citizenship test. So we're gonna find out how smart you people really are. Because I have some statistics we'll go over before we start the test, just to see, there's a, so only 36% of Americans would actually pass a citizenship test. Did you know that? Now imagine walking thousands of miles, and now you all are expecting these people to be able to pass a test that y'all probably can't even fucking pass. So, as of 2025, the U.S. population was 335 million people. About 77% of those people are 18 and older, which is the typical age to do a citizenship test or a naturalization testing. So, 77% of 335 million is 258 adults. So, 36% of the 258 adults that could take the test, only 93 million would pass. Are you one of those 93 million? Or are you one of the 165 million that would fail? I think a lot of you would fail. I think a very lot of you would fail. Because I think a lot of you don't even know what the government is or what it's supposed to do. I think a lot of you project a lot of feelings. And feelings aren't facts, just so you know. So, did you know only 13% of Americans knew when the Constitution was written? And I think a lot of you have the wrong fucking date. And you think a whole bunch of shit that's not true. 60% of Americans couldn't even name the 3 rights guaranteed by the First Amendment. And a lot of people answered that question with the right to bear arms. They thought was protected in the First Amendment. Now, I know that a lot of you probably actually know that because you're all about your guns. Or should I say pew-pews? Only 24% knew why colonists fought the British, which I find interesting. And this is, I think this is kind of funny. 2% thought the Cold War was fought against Germany. Probably some of you think it was fought against Germany as well. And this is very sad. And I think all of you would know this answer, especially if you actually pay attention to the words coming out of my mouth. Because I've said the 3 branches of government many times. And a third of Americans can't even name one of them. Don't even know one of the branches of our government. But migrants that come to our country, they have to learn all kinds of shit about our government and our country and memorize all this stuff. They have to memorize stuff about all 50 states and know about our government, know about our wars that we've fought. All kinds of stuff, and I'm almost 99.9% sure that none of you know the answers to these questions. And I'm choosing to do this in the morning while a lot of you are just waking up, so you can see what kind of nonsense you're expecting people to know after they walk, again, thousands and thousands of miles in the heat. So, maybe we'll start the test today. Maybe we'll start the test tomorrow. Maybe I won't tell you when the test is gonna be. And I'm just gonna pop it up on you. And you're gonna have to know all the answers if you wanna be a citizen in this country. Well, not all the answers. You have to get 16 out of 20 correct. And again, I really doubt that a lot of you would be able to pass the test. I think a lot of you just blow all kinds of hot steam, air out of your mouth, out of your fingertips, to try and prove a point you don't even know what the fuck the point is. So, let's talk about this. The U.S. Citizenship Test, during a naturalization interview, there's only 20 questions. You only have to get 12 right. And you have 20 to 45 minutes to do it. This is if you're taking the test in person. And there's a whole interview process. We're not going to do the interview process. We're just going to do the test part. So again, I haven't decided if we're going to start this morning or if we're going to do this another morning, but we will be doing this. So y'all might want to brush up on whatever you think is in there. And while we're doing this, if you give bullshit answers, jokes, funny things, I'm going to assume that you don't know the question. So you're going to want to be, if you don't know, at least guess something that would be maybe right, because this is going to prove to me how stupid you all really are. So, I'm going to turn the music back on for a little bit. I'll be back. Good morning, Beard. Hi, Fairy. My favorite fairy. How are you this morning? Oh. Still waking up, not very chatty. Well, that's kind of the point of my whole civics in the morning. Because I want to catch you all when you're just waking up and you're not really thinking clearly, because you're not you or Beard, but some people out in this country believe that people are supposed to be able to pass a citizenship test after walking thousands of miles, not eating and not getting enough water. Of course I want to be a pain in the butt fairy. So you have a little time to wake up because it's just you and Beard in here right now. And I've collected a bunch of questions off of study guides for the civilian or the citizenship test. I don't know why I keep saying civilianship, but the citizenship test. Maybe we'll start with the easy ones, or maybe we'll just jump right into the hard ones. Because you don't know what order they're going to be in, and you don't even really know what questions are going to be on there. So, you got 4 fillings yesterday, Beard? Oh my God. Oh, Fairy, I read the statistics earlier when I first started about the citizenship test and Americans that wouldn't be able to pass it. Here, I'll go over them again. Let me get to it. Okay, so in 2025, the U.S. population is 335 million. About 77% of those are 18 or older, which is the age you're typically needed to be to pass the citizenship or naturalization test. So, 77% of 335 million is 258 million adults. And only 36% of those could pass the citizenship test. So, out of 258 million, that is 93 million adults would pass. So only 93 million out of 335 million people would pass. Or no, I'm sorry. Out of 258 million, only 93 million would pass. and 165 million would fail. So those 165 million citizens that would fail, should they be deported? Should we put them all on a plane and send them to El Salvador so they could go hang out in that prison? Just a question. And I was saying earlier, so when I'm doing this, if you don't give correct answers, if you are joking around and think this is fun and games and giving bullshit answers, I'm going to assume that you don't know the answer. What do you mean, Ferry? Don't give him ideas. He's already shipping U.S. citizens out of this country. There is a man in Wisconsin that is a retired professor, and he received a deportation letter. He's a U.S. citizen, and they're telling him he needs to get the fuck out. Don't run, don't hide, because they will find him. I mean, what the fuck? Oh, good morning, Cece. Happy belated birthday. So everyone wished Cece a happy birthday. Yesterday was Cece's birthday. Good morning, Miss One. Welcome to Civics 101 with Sunshine. So, shall we get started? And this isn't going to be the only morning I do this. We're going to do this a couple of times. Maybe this week, next week. You never know when it will pop up. Because, none of these people, you're expecting any of these migrants just to know all this shit as soon as they get to the border. So I'm expecting all of you to know this shit bright and early in the morning, first thing. Maybe even before your first cup of coffee. So, let's see here. We'll start easy, shall we? What is the supreme law of the land? And they give alpha, like, you can pick A, B, or C. Should I give you A, B, or C, or should I just let you guess the questions? And we're going to set a time limit too, because they only have so long to answer these questions. And you guys are already one step ahead because you have the ability to speak basic English when you're being evaluated, which is right now. And you will need to be able to read one of their 3 sentences correctly. Well, y'all can, I know you can read because you're reading chat. And you must be able to write one of 3 sentences correctly. Well, I don't know if any of you can write sentences correctly because some of y'all forget commas in important places. And, you know, I'm also one of those people that don't punctuate correctly when typing in chat, so I'm not blaming you all for that. And, okay, so Beard, you're one I'm gonna have to... Well, Beard, we're just gonna assume you're already a citizen because I know you're gonna be giving silly answers. So if you have a wrench in this chat, you're allowed to give silly answers. But if you don't have a wrench, you're expected to give the correct answer to the best of your knowledge. Okay, so Fairy wants the A, B, or C. CC wants to guess. Alright. So, Fairy, you're going to get your wrench from the basement? Wait, who said you could do that? Beard, don't let her in the cave. Alright, so Beard wants A, B, or C too. Miss 1, do you have a A, B, or C, or do you just want to guess? Do you want me to lead you all in the right direction? Beard, I just gave you the power. What are you talking about? Okay, so we're going with A, B, or C. Beard says he can only take tests with A, B, or C. That's because you're one of those standardized testing kids. Fairy, you have dust to stop him. Alright. So, let's get started, shall we? What is one right or freedom from the First Amendment? A, right to bear arms. B, freedom of speech. C, right to a fair trial. Okay, so Fairy says B. Cece, you say A, B, and C. Beard says B. Miss A says 1. Or Miss A. Miss 1 says A. Beard the right to own a duck. So the correct answer is B, freedom of speech. All right, most of you, and a lot of you got that right that are playing along. And so some of these are going to be very easy for us citizens. So who was the first president of the United States? A, Thomas Jefferson. B, George Washington. C, Abraham Lincoln. I was hoping y'all would get that correct. So, the correct answer is B, George Washington. So, how many U.S. senators are there? Oh, I forgot the A, B, or C. Hold on. A, 50. B, 100. C, 435. Why is it always B? Because they didn't want it to be C, because C is usually the correct answer. Alright, well, looks like most of you got that correct. Alright, so moving on. What is the capital of the United States? Again, some of these are going to be really easy. A, New York City. B, Washington, D.C. Or C, Los Angeles? No using Google, Beard. Red. Red, I know you know the answer to this, so you can give the wrong answer to that. Good morning, Red, by the way. Okay, so what is the name of the national anthem? A, America the Beautiful. B, the Star-Spangled Banner. Or C, God Bless America? So, Red, just so you know, you might have not been here in the beginning and missed it. So, if you keep giving bullshit answers and funny answers, I'm gonna assume that you don't know the real answer to the question. So you have to give your first answer must be the correct one. And then you can joke around and have fun. YMCA. Alright, yes, I was assuming most of you would get that correct. The Star Spangled Banner. B is the correct answer. So, this one. Who wrote the Declaration of Independence? A. Ben Franklin. B. George Washington. Or C. Thomas Jefferson. Alright, looks like y'all are getting this one correct too. See, it's not always B, beard. When is Independence Day celebrated? A. December 25th. B. November 11th. Or C. July 4th. Alright, correct. You guys, I think, are getting... Yep. I'm very proud of you guys for knowing what day we set off fireworks in this country. So, what is the highest court in the United States? A, the Supreme Court. B, the Federal Court. Or C, the Circuit Court. Beard in my boot. I wish your boot was the highest court beard, because we would have booted some people out of here already. So it looks like you guys got that one correct too. The Supreme Court. So, what is the economic system in the United States? A, a capitalist economy. B, a socialist economy. Or C, mixed economy. So Beard says A, Fairy says C, Miss One says A, Cece says A, Beard says, an economy based on cheese. We are not in Wisconsin, Beard. Not all of us live in cheese land. Excuse me. Okay, so what is one responsibility that is for United States citizens? A, voting in federal elections. B, serving on jury duty. Or C, paying taxes. Cece, you gotta pay a cheese tax? Since when did you start living in Wisconsin? I'm sorry. Okay, so Cece says C. Miss One says D. What is the D answer? Repeat the question, please. Okay, repeating the question. What is one responsibility that is only for United States citizens? A, voting in federal elections. B, serving on jury duty. C, paying taxes. Alright, so this one, I had a feeling this one would get a mixture of answers. Good morning, Praxis. So, Praxis is the only one that's correct about this answer. B, serving on jury duty, is the only responsibility that U.S. citizens have. They don't, I mean, we can pay taxes. We're supposed to pay taxes. But does everyone pay taxes that are U.S. citizens? No. But if you're a migrant and you're here and you have a tax ID number, then yes, you pay taxes. But you have to serve on a jury. Otherwise, they'll issue a warrant for you and they'll come get you, which is stupid. Just don't vote and they won't call you for jury duty. That's not true either, Practices, because I vote all the time. And when I lived in Illinois, my whole life, I never once got called for jury duty. Moved to Michigan? Fuck, I've been called, well, I've been chosen, or not chosen. I've gotten a letter for jury duty like 3 times a year since I've moved up here. And they never choose me. Alright, so on to the next question. What are two cabinet level positions? A. Secretary of Education and Secretary of Agriculture. B. Speaker of the House, Senate Majority Leader. Or C. Attorney General and Secretary of Defense. Now we're getting into the little more harder questions. CC says B. Beard says B always works. That's not true, Beard, not always. Do you need me to read the question again? Here, I'll repeat the question and the answers. So, what are two cabinet level positions? A. Secretary of Education and Secretary of Agriculture. B. Speaker of the House and Senate Majority Leader. C. Attorney General and the Secretary of Defense. So what do you guys think it is? So, Cece says B. Fairies changed her answer to C. Praxis says C. Beard says, don't fail me now, B. Okay, so the correct answer is A. You were correct the first time, Fairy. You should have stuck with your gut. The Secretary of Education and the Secretary of Agriculture. The Speaker of the House and the Senate, they're part of a different branch of our government. They're not a part of the executive branch, so they can't be there. And the Attorney General and the Secretary of Defense, those are two different parts in different parts of our government too. One is in the executive branch, the Secretary of Defense, but the Attorney General, that's part of our judicial. That's supposed to have no connection to the White House or to Congress. It's supposed to be an independent thing, but, you know, the orange guy thinks it's his lawyer. So he's confusing Americans even more confused than they already are. Just ship me out now, please, Cece. No, we're not shipping you anywhere, Cece. Well, if it gets any worse, can you ship me out with you? Fairy says, I studied this shit and I should follow my gut. Exactly, you should follow your gut, Fairy. That's what I said. You were correct the first time. Praxis says, so agriculture and education are always in the Oval Office meetings. Not always. When they have those Oval Office meetings, not all of the secretaries are there. And really, the only people that are in those Oval Office meetings are supposed to be the people that actually know what the fuck's going on. But with this orange guy, you never know what he's doing. And he just pulls into the Oval Office whoever he wants to make feel like he's giving them special time or whatever. Okay, so the next question. What did Susan B. Anthony do? Was A, founded the Red Cross, B, fought for women's rights, C, created the first school for children with disabilities. Alright. It looks like you all got this one right, too. She fought for women's rights. Alright. Next question. What is the name of the president's official residence? I forgot. I gotta give you guys A, B, or C. See, some of these questions, I know you guys know the answer to. Well, I would hope you know the answer to. So I feel like I don't need to give you the A, B, or C. But, so, what is the name of the president's official residence? A, the White House, B, the Capitol building, or C, the Washington Monument? Beard! Trump's bungalow of pleasure. Oh my god! Beard! Oh, that's so wrong, Beard. Yuck! Yuck! Ugh! Okay, so I knew a lot of you would get this right. And Miss One gets bonus points because she knows the address. Excuse me. Alright, so moving on to the next question. What is one power of the U.S. Congress? A, declare war. B, appoint judges. C, veto laws. I'm going to let you think about this one for a minute. I need some more coffee. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. So, let's see here. What are the answers? So, the question was, what is one power of the U.S. government? A. Declare war. B. Appoint judges. C. Veto laws. Cece says A. Miss One says A. Fairy says E. Beard says C. Well, Beard, you're going to learn some things. So the correct answer is A. Declare war. The president is the one that vetoes the laws. Beard, just so you know. And I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on this, but I think the one that appoints judges is the judicial something part of the Senate. You know, they have the little groups. I think the judicial little group in the Senate is the one that appoints the judges. The president can pick judges, but he isn't the one with the final decision. Oh, Fairy, you're done. You need to... Oh, you've been up since 2 in the morning? Well, your brain is slush, I bet. So, your brain probably is how these migrants walking thousands of miles or being trapped in the back of a semi-truck with no food or water, and the temperatures in that truck are hundreds of degrees. People die in the back of these trucks. But, you know, some people in this country believe that these migrants are supposed to be able to pass a citizenship test as soon as they get to the border. Answer all these questions as soon as they get to the border. So, I just want to prove that not even American citizens can pass these tests that are given. And we're citizens. And you know why we can't pass these tests? Because we don't have civics in school anymore. And you know why they don't want us to have civics in school anymore? Well, that started in the 80s. It went from having all kinds of civics classes, government classes, debate classes, teaching students how to critically think, to now having less than a semester of it. And you're only taught the things that you need to know to pass a standardized test. And how many of you, this is another thing I'd like to know. How many of you took those standardized tests when you were in school? Those stupid I can't even remember what they're called. Those tests with the number 2 pencil and you had to fill in the little dots. How many of you actually did the correct, filled in the correct dots? How many of you made little designs on your Scantrons? I don't even know if that's the correct word. What? Fairy, are you agree? How did I get to become a slave driver? Because I want my viewers to be educated and be smart and to know things and not just follow people's stupidity. Yes, it is very cruel, Fairy, what we do to these human beings and what traffickers do to these human beings. It's awful. Exactly. See, that's what I'm talking about. Fairy says, my grandson is in 7th grade and they haven't taught him anything about the government. It's been me teaching him. Yep. The education doesn't teach us anything about government. And that was the whole purpose of education when this country started, was to have an informed citizenship so we could govern ourselves basically, but we can't do that. We can't govern ourselves. We can't think critically because the government wants us stupid. So they can do what they're doing now and take away rights and shit, and people are just okay with it. Well, Fairy, you can be smart and funny. And if you're smart, I think you're a little bit funnier than the people that are dumb, trying to be funny. Fairy, I'm a funny smart ass. That's why we get along, Fairy. So if you're just joining us, if you could please hit the thumbs up, that would be super cool of you. So we have a couple more questions. Do we want to finish? We have three more questions. Do we want to do the last 3 questions, or should I save those for another day? Oh, good morning, Captain Starlink. Good to see you. I hope you're well. Unicorn drink? Beard, what are you talking about? You can't just say something like that and not explain a unicorn drink. Oh, you're just getting here. All right. So there's 3 more questions. You've already yelled at a couple people today? Well, that's a good start to the morning. Sonic in the app has a unicorn drink? What? So, hold on. Before we get to the questions, let's talk about this whole Sonic fast food restaurant. Because I've been seeing ads for Sonic fast food restaurants since the early 2000s. And I have never seen one of these Sonic fast food places ever. Do they really exist? Like, Beard, you're gonna have to take a video and send it to me. Sonic's hash browns are super greasy. See, all these people know about this Sonic's place. I believe it's made up. I think it's a fake commercial that they're just trying to make people want to go to this place. Beard, what? And they have the best onion rings? And I've heard they have really good milkshakes. But again, I've never seen one. I have no idea if these places are real or not. Captain Starling says it's for real. Really? So am I going to have to drive to where you are, Beard, to get a Sonic? Really? And some serve, see, now I've seen that commercial too, Cece, about some serving in roller skates, like back in the day, the drive-in restaurants. So supposedly, they opened one in Chicago right before I moved. But I never saw it. I didn't know where it was. I don't believe it to be there. And nobody else I knew in Chicago, nobody knew where this fucking Sonic was, but there was supposedly one in Chicago. I don't know. I think it's bullshit. I think they just want people to believe that there's this great fast food restaurant out there that makes these awesome milkshakes, and it doesn't exist. Oh, yay! Cece's gonna make me a video of Sonic. Woohoo! And Beard. So we will have proof that there are actually Sonic restaurants. So I also expect in these videos there to be a picture of the menu with all the milkshakes you can get. Since I'm being bossy this morning, I want to tell you exactly what I want to see. Oh no, Cece, Fairy, you don't need to drive over an hour to make me a video. I'm not that important. Yeah, they're supposed to have good breakfast too. That's what it says on their commercials. But Captain Starling says the hash browns are greasy, so I'd be a little iffy about the hash browns. Barry, you got scared. I'm being bossy today. Well, that's why I wanted to make sure that you knew that I didn't want you to drive over an hour. I mean, I am special, but, you know, I don't want you to have to drive over an hour. Unless you're driving here to come see me, then you can drive over an hour. Yes, the two guys. So, you want to know something about that commercial, Beard? The two guys, one of those guys in the commercial is from Chicago. And he used to, he's a normal guy. He's really cool. He used to hang out at the bar that I used to go to all the time in the neighborhood. Beard. If Sunshine was not bossy, I would be calling her to make sure everything is okay. Fairy, you want me to drive there because you don't have snow every other day? Well, pretty soon we won't have snow every other day. Yes, that's him, Beard. The Second City guy. Yep, that's exactly who I'm talking about. Super cool guy. And you would never know that was him. He's actually a very quiet person. Unless you get to know him. Well, Fairy, yes, you have to pick up before the second ring because I have to pick up before the first ring or you yell at me. And if I don't pick up before the first ring, the next time I call, she makes me go to voicemail. It's unbelievable. The stuff that Fairy puts me through. Yeah, you should hear the kind of yellings Beard gets. Exactly. Beard's got to pick up before it even rings. So you're lucky you're not under that, Fairy. See, when you get a wrench, things are expected of you. How long have I been live this morning? Oh, over an hour. Yep, Fairy uses her fairy dust on her wrench so no one can see it. All right, I'll be back. I'm going to go smoke a little bit of a cigarette. I'll let you guys listen to some music. All right, I'm back. So, have a great day, Fairy. We'll be talking later. What is Beard saying? Yes. So, Beard talking about installing a chip in your brain? Duh. All mods get a chip in their brain. Don't you know that I'm cousins of someone that puts brain chips in people? Remember when I was in my green screen room, I was telling you all about that, Beard? Beard, I'm gonna call fake on your Sonic videos. Yep, you must be in the video in order for me to realize that it's true. You need to put a piece of paper with a date on it. You need one of those director things where they go, take one click. Oh no, Beard, I don't want to access your thoughts or visions. No, that might be dangerous. It's just a GPS tracker. It's so I know your location at all times. Well, I think we're gonna save the rest of the civilian questions for another morning. And just so y'all know, this is gonna be random. I'm not gonna tell you ahead of time when these quizzes are gonna be. You're not going to get a heads up. No studying allowed in Sunshine Civics class. This is all of knowledge that we're all supposed to already have. Because we were all supposedly taught this in high school. Or middle school. Or elementary school. Huh, right, Beard? The president should have to take a citizenship test. I don't know why that isn't a fucking law. Maybe we should start a petition or something to make the presidents do that. And it needs to be a detailed citizenship test because they're already citizens. Well, I'm gonna call it a morning. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Peace and love to all of you that matter. And to the ones that don't to me and my peoples. You know, you can go somewhere, but other people might not want you to. So you should call 988 to get some help for your mental health issues. And we should all call our representatives and tell them to leave 988 alone. Stop trying to cut out divisions of 988, people that specialize in LGBTQ community issues, and veterans, they need that too. You know, every 22 seconds, a veteran does bad things, hurts themselves, unlives themselves. That's a very important number. And people need to stop fucking with it. Leave it alone. It's a lifeline to millions and millions of people in this country. I will see you all soon. Be kind. It's free. Don't be an asshole. There's too many of them in this world. And stop lying. Real people find the real truth. Bye.